Hi, welcome to another presentation of People in Perspective. I'm Chad Agnew. Joined with me today is Chad Agnew. Nice to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Nice. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I grew up in Iowa in a small little kind of farming rural community and had a really nice childhood. Played football and baseball and basketball. Graduated from high school and went to a couple of different colleges before I kind of settled in at the University of Iowa. I went to the University of Iowa. I graduated from the University of Iowa in 1992. Started my professional career at Toyota. I worked for Toyota for a number of years. I worked at Allstate for a couple of years. Then I worked for some asset management firms for the last 20 years. So currently, I live in Brookfield with my two sons, Will, who is a senior in high school, and Matthew, who's a ninth grader. I work downtown as a branch manager of an investment management firm. On the weekends, I enjoy bike riding. My boys are active in hockey and football and baseball, so we're at a lot of different sporting events.
Nice, nice. What made you want to get into business?
So when I was in high school and college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I had talked to a couple of people, and I really thought I would join the Iowa State Patrol. That's what my goal was, and that's what I was going to do. And I got to my senior year in high school, when I got to college, I thought, I need to have a business degree because that not only would be a backup in case the Iowa State Patrol didn't work out, but I could also maybe use that to get into a leadership role within the state police or something like this. Ended up, I enjoyed business a lot, and I enjoyed the conversations. I enjoyed helping people, much like you would do with the state police as well. And so I just pursued business, and my business career kind of took off from there.
Nice. What made you want to manage people? Because I know that you are like a branch manager at TD.
Yeah. So one of the things that as your life progresses and your career progresses, you kind of find things that you're good at. And whether that was in sports in school or kind of in college or even when I started working professionally, I kind of found myself being very outspoken and being someone that could kind of motivate other people, and I really enjoyed that. And so when I worked for mutual fund, Kemper Mutual Funds back in 2000, I had an opportunity to manage for the first time, to manage people. And what I found was I really liked it. And there was a certain experience that you have when you're in sales or when you do something. And I found that when I was managing people, when I was leading people, when I was helping them to get better or whatever they were trying to accomplish, that really fulfilled me, and that really, those were the things that made me feel really productive and really important. And I kept chasing those moments, right, where I could work with somebody, I could help them get better and help them achieve a goal. And after a lot of years of doing that professionally, I just realized that a leadership type of a role at a firm is something that not only do I enjoy, but I've been very fortunate to have some success with it as well.
I know you really like sports. What was your favorite sport and why was it?
So growing up in the small town of Iowa, we got the chance to play lots of sports, right? So I played football, I played basketball, I ran track, I played baseball. I had a chance to play a little soccer as a kid. And what I really found was I loved football and I loved baseball. And even as I graduated from high school, for a couple of years, I ran the youth baseball program in my town in Iowa for 2 summers. And that was a great experience. So I umpired high school baseball when I was in college as a way to make a little extra money. I did a little more umpiring once I got through with that. And we've talked about this, but as my 2 boys are getting older, I'm actually going to think about getting back into umpiring again, just because I love baseball so much, I love being around the kids so much, and I love giving back.
Nice, nice. What would you say was your biggest success that you've ever had?
Biggest success? Well, and we probably hear this all the time, right? But having a family, having boys, right? Having kids, that was by far my biggest success. I remember when Will was born at the hospital, and they have this moment where they give him to you and they kind of wish you the best. And I thought, well, which one of you nurses is going to come home with us and help us with him? But it was it was raising them. It was watching them grow and watching them develop, watching them do well in school and in sports and socially. But my proudest accomplishment has been my two sons and watching them grow and watching them progress into young men.
How was it like living in a small town to a big city such as Chicago?
Yeah, it's very different, right? So where I grew up, everybody knew everybody. So, and I feel like Brookfield is like that as well, right? It's kind of a smaller community, but I grew up in a town of about 8,000 people. And so if I was getting in trouble on one end of town, by the time I got home, somebody had already called my mother and told her what I had done. So she was waiting for me at the house. I had no fear of riding my bike anywhere in town. I had no fear, and even as early as like first grade, I would walk from school to a friend's house, which might be on the other end of town, and that was not a concern. I was able, like I said, to ride bikes. We rode skateboards. I went out to the country club where I played a lot of golf. You had a lot of opportunities. I knew a lot of people. I got exposed to a lot of different things. I kind of got to spend time in urban community, in town, as well as go out to the farm and spend a lot of time on a farm, driving tractors and having the experiences that farm kids would have. And I found it to be just a great way to grow up.
Mm-hmm. How was it like college-wise? Did you have fun at college? Like, what was it like?
I did, but the expectations going into college weren't that great. I think there were a lot of people in my high school, teachers that didn't think I would go to college, and definitely didn't think I'd graduate from college. And I had that conversation with multiple professors in college that you're probably not going to make it. You're probably not going to graduate. And so studying for me was really hard, and I spent a lot of time studying. I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm stubborn. And if somebody tells me I can't do something, well, I'm fairly determined that I will be able to do it, and I work twice as hard at it. So although I had a great time at college, I went to the University of Northern Iowa for 2 years, and that just wasn't a great fit for me. I struggled with school, and I ended up transferring down to the University of Iowa where I graduated from. But every night after class, I would go and I would rewrite my notes again in another notebook, right? So I did it. I would do math problems for hours and hours. I'd go to the library where it would be quiet, where I could study because I knew I had to focus. And it was a great accomplishment when I was able to graduate. I had a lot of fun, but I put a lot of work into it.
What was your favorite job as of the past few jobs you've had?
So they've both been very similar, right? I love building, and I love growing something. And I've had the great experience the last couple of roles that I've had where I had the chance to hire people and to build a team out and then watch them have success. And that's been my most favorite thing that I do, right? Is I'm not really good at just kind of maintaining something, just coming in and kind of keeping things status quo. But if I'm given the challenge of, hey, we need to develop something and we need to get to a certain place and we want you to help build that and grow that. In the last 2 roles I've had, I've been able to do that. That's what I find a lot of gratification in.
Yeah. As a business, like, if you were to say over your professional career, what was your high? Like, what would be like one of your highs?
That's a great question. So in one of my previous roles, I had a lot of people that worked for me, and I was able to promote about 60 people to 20 different functional type of roles. So I've hired hundreds of people, not hundreds, but over 100 people probably over my career. And to promote a lot of those people and watch them go on and do different things has been great. On that same vein, one of the things I really enjoy is to this day, I still have people reach out to me and talk to me and contact me that I might have hired 15 or 18 years ago. But to watch them grow and watch their career progress, watch them have a family, and watch them have success in their life, right? And take on different responsibilities. That's been a huge high from a professional standpoint, is watch people do great.
That's very nice. Thank you for having you on the show today. It has been great, and this is another production of People in Perspective. Until next time, I'm Chad Agnew. Thank you.
Thank you for having me today.